A journalist is speaking out about the backlash to reports in Chechnya, which is a federal subject of Russia, reports that government forces have set upon LGBTQ people and entities that are trying to raise awareness about violence against members of the LGBT community. And one of the people who is a publisher of Novaya Gazeta, one of the publications that is reporting on this widely, her name is Elena Milashna, and she had to flee Russia to protect her life because of concerns over her life. People since 2001, according to NBC News, at least 2 reporters were killed from that publication after investigating Chechnya. She says to the Dazed publication in an interview, she said, imagine people who were detained on basis of their sexuality have no chance to resume their life in Chechnya anymore, so they are forced to leave. As they become vocal about that abuse, this seems obvious, but the consequences of this were not clear right away. Turns out abuse and torture of LGBT people backfired massively on the Chechen authorities. The victims were cornered, and in order to survive, they are now ready to do anything to fight for their lives, including speaking up publicly about the torture and horrors they went through in Chechnya. She says, I know the person who's in charge of a new investigation that this has all sparked. Someone from the government has been appointed to do an investigation. She's super skeptical about it because in Russia, she doesn't feel confident that these kind of investigations will go forward successfully. And she says, I know the person, and if he is given the command to do so, he will not hesitate to detain everyone involved in this crime. Even Kadyrov, the head of the Chechen Republic, will see. But in 3 years, none of our publications on Chechnya have had such impact. It is a very small but confident first win. What do you guys think?
Wow, this story is really troubling for a lot of reasons. So remember when the story first broke, a spokesperson for Kadyrov basically said, we would never detain gay people in Chechnya because gay people don't exist in Chechnya, so how can you detain a population that doesn't exist? So there was that initial denial, which was really troubling. And then another component to the story is that the US ambassador to the UN, Nikki Haley, has come out and said that she's very disturbed by these reports, and that's great. And she's like, we want to make sure that the UN can do whatever it can to end discrimination and any sort of humanitarian violations, and that's on its face really good, except to remember that in 2013, Nikki Haley was a staunch opponent to gay marriage, and she absolutely spoke out saying that she believes that marriage is between one man and one woman. So it's great that now in 2017, she's saying that she supports the UN to do whatever it needs to end these detention camps, but it also, if you're a member of the LGBT community, you're kind of questioning in the same way that you hear about this reporter saying, I don't know if I trust the person doing this investigation. And it's sort of disheartening when you see that the representation for the US at the UN, has also said disparaging remarks about the gay community. It's like, how much are you really behind ending these camps, ending this torture of gay people?
Right, there have been reports of people being lured out by a friend to the forest and then being set upon by these authorities who are just rounding them up because they're gay.
Yeah,
it's the history repeating itself, and I mean, I made references to the Holocaust in one of the stories a while ago, and not in the sense of these people being murdered, but being pretty much persecuted for who they are. And in 2017, you think that wow, we would hopefully have made enough strides and have the foresight and are aware of people. There are gay people. And they're human beings. They deserve the same type of treatment. What really disturbed me also in the article, though, to you two, was when the lady. They said that the people were willing to speak out and do whatever it takes to save their lives. But it seems that by them speaking out and doing whatever it takes to save their lives, some people are being killed. So it's like the reporter had to flee her country because threats were made on her life. So it's like this double-edged sword. Do we stay? Are we detained in these camps and die, or do we do what we can to fight for our freedom and fight for our rights and our life and still die?
Yeah. So the sort of silver lining to this story that I've noticed is that it seems like from both sides, people are aware that these camps exist and they want to end these camps. I actually read about some of this on Breitbart News, which is not a a site that I typically subscribe to. As a an outspoken feminist, I think that we have some different.
Their comic section is hilarious.
Right, but in any case, really I think it's important to read and educate yourself on views that are different from your own, because it just challenges your beliefs and makes you better, I think. And Breitbart was saying a lot from what we're hearing of NBC as well, like sort of the same thing. Like, these camps are wrong. They do exist. There's evidence for it, and we need to stop them. So I think that if we can have a sort of a bipartisan effort in making sure that at least the U.S. representative to the UN is holding the Russians and the Chechens feet to the fire and making sure that they are ending these camps, I think that that's only a good thing, and that's a positive thing. Also, quick plug to the Russian LGBT network. I'm not sure what their address is, but you can donate to them, and they are really on the forefront of making sure that they are stopping any sort of persecution of gay people in this region.
It is lgbtnet.org/en. For English, it's in English.
This is probably a stupid question I'm gonna answer anyways. I'm sure people watching at home have the same question. Detaining them though, what is the purpose of that? Like, it's like, okay, you detain, normally when you, again I'm sorry guys, I hate to bring up the Holocaust. It's just the only thing I can correlate with detaining a certain group of people. What is their purpose? Like, what happens to them though? Do they sit? It's like, detain them to do what? Are they slaves? Are they being murdered?
Some of them are being killed. There are discrepancies on how many have been killed based on like what. There have been deaths as verified by various like human rights investigative bodies. In terms of detaining them, I think what happens in countries like Russia, and Chechnya has this crazy sordid history. When people say there's violence in Chechnya, usually you think, oh, it must be the Chechen separatists and the rebels, and that's what Chechnya is known for. But this is like trying to shine a light on a completely different issue within that country, and that's difficult. It's like rebranding what the crisis in Chechnya is. But a through line for Russia and other countries run by like a strong man are the attempt to suppress any naysayers, anyone who's saying anything, trying to hold the government accountable. And part of that is, it's weird. I personally think that Russia has this chip on its shoulder because all the things they consider masculine, Americans consider pretty gay, like fancy dancing. And like
fabulous hats,
fancy dancing, like what?
Like their
twerking?
St. Peter's Basilica looks like it's made of candy, and then just like, oh, I just like a good book.
So good books are gay?
No.
I think in general, you see sort of Russia has sometimes sort of portrayed itself as like this high ground of morality, and they don't understand gay people to be a part of that, and they think that it's sort of it's a perversion on their society, and because of it limits like artistic expression and all that stuff. I think plays into why they want these individuals who are openly gay to be detained, to be taken away from the society, because they view it as something that could corrupt what they feel is a moral.
Yeah, it's
society.
weird.
It doesn't make sense.
Whatever the reasoning is, it's bullshit reasoning, including the whole thing I said just a second ago about thinking things are pretty gay. Yeah. That was a joke, but
I'm offended, Brett.
Yeah. Good, be offended, it's fine. But like the colors in the Sochi Olympics were like pinks and purples. Anyways, but no, I think what it is that's just shining a light on how ridiculous the justification could be. And so why they're putting all this focus on rounding up gay people, it just doesn't make sense. And it shouldn't be allowed to go on.
The question that was also asked though is, why isn't this getting more press in the media? Why are we more concerned with Coachella, and when we have something that is this disheartening? Sorry, guys, and human lives are in danger. Why do you guys think that this is not on the news more often and talked about more?
It's far away and it's difficult, and it's the fact that it's a confluence of a bunch of different issues whose other sides are more popular. So like when you say Russia, you don't think about, separate like Chechen gay people. You think of email scandals and hacking.
Yeah.
When you think of LGBTQ community, usually we think about America and the struggles here. And when you think about detention camps, it's it's not ones in Chechnya of gay people. And it's just hard to break that story, especially when we have so much else going on. But it's still super important. What do you guys think? Let us know, and we'll see you next time on Pop Trigger.